Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving right into the absolute sheer energy of this glowing metropolis. Look at this, the DLF CyberHub Plaza. The warmth of those ambient lights, the crowds just mingling around, and that unmistakable marquee glow cutting right through the dark sky, it creates this undeniable ecosystem. It brings up a question that urban planners and architects literally obsess over. What makes a modern urban space truly come alive after dark? I mean, think about the commercial centers near you. Some completely empty out when the sun goes down, right? Just total ghost towns. But others, like the one we're investigating today, they completely transform. They become a total magnet for human activity. So, why? Let's decode that together. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why this specific environment feels so incredibly alive. We'll be decoding the DLF CyberHub by looking at three core pillars: space, light, and life. We're going to see exactly how these elements combine to engineer a completely irresistible urban atmosphere. Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the CyberHub Nightscape, setting the urban scene. Just look at the kinetic energy here. The motion blur of the crowds perfectly translates the sensory experience of walking through this hub. You know, this isn't just some static path. It's a living, breathing artery of the city. The inviting glow of that red neon in the distance kind of acts like a beacon, literally pulling foot traffic forward. It's this orchestrated chaos that feels really exciting rather than, overwhelming. Moving on to Section 2, modern architectural design, the physical container. Now, what's really interesting here is that to hold all that vibrant energy, you need a highly specific vessel, engineered with sheer contrast. Think about the wide, flat ground-level walkways with those vast, patterned paving stones guiding foot traffic in a very linear way. But then contrast that immediately with the multi-tiered, elevated pathways and these glowing red staircases. It's like a complex, three-dimensional puzzle that basically forces you to explore. This entire massive commercial ecosystem is framed by glass, steel, and rigid geometry. These towering, reflective glass facades create this cavernous, almost canyon-like feel. Actually, they act as massive mirrors and canvases for the city lights, bouncing all that kinetic energy right back down to the street level, rather than just letting it escape into the night sky. All right, Section 3, illuminated signs and branding, the visual stimuli. We can basically categorize all this visual stimuli into three distinct layers of urban nightlight. First, you've got massive digital billboards providing heavy illumination. Then, localized storefront neon offering some character. And finally, ambient pathway lighting, grounding the whole scene. Let's see how these three layers actually work together to create the vibe. And this brilliantly illustrates that first layer, the heavy illumination from these massive digital billboards. The intense, white-hot glow from these LED screens for brands like Samsung and Axis Bank literally spills right out onto the paving stones. It's so bright that it acts as environmental lighting, physically illuminating the people walking below. The branding isn't just a message here, it's practically a lamppost. It shapes how the physical space is lit and perceived. Zooming in from the macro to the micro level, we hit the storefront neon, like the super playful, glowing popsicle sign outside the King's shop. This offers visual engagement on a much more human scale. It's quirky, it's colorful, and it cuts right through all that massive corporate branding to draw direct, immediate foot traffic right to the entryway. It kind of makes the massive steel container feel approachable, a lot more fun. Shifting our focus back upwards, you've got these towering marquees, like that imperfecto sign glowing vibrant red against the pitch-black sky, which integrate branding directly into the skyline itself. It acts as a waypoint, like a literal landmark helping visitors orient themselves within the multi-level maze of the hub, totally reinforcing the commercial identity of the space. Which brings us to Section 4, the vibrant crowd atmosphere, the resulting life. There's this incredible friction between the static geometry of the architecture, the unmoving glass, the unbending steel, and the fluid organic dynamics of the crowd. This scattered human movement is what breathes life into the concrete. Without it, the rigid glass is really just an empty terrarium. This continuous flow of crowds navigating the stairs and commercial walkways is exactly where that multi-level design pays off. It heavily encourages continuous exploration, turning what would just be standard functional staircases into an active, buzzing hive of activity. People are constantly ascending, descending, and just cross-pollinating throughout the levels. So the crucial point here is how this layout actively directs human behavior. Down at the ground level, you'll see people naturally gathering near entrances, hovering around safety barriers, and clustering by illuminated pillars. While the wide paths handle the flow of traffic, the ambient lighting and architectural borders organically funnel people into these distinct little pockets of social interaction. The architecture is literally curating social collision. And finally, Section 5, Defining Modern Urban Spaces, the Future of the City Center. When architecture, branding, and crowds align this perfectly, a purely commercial zone like the CyberHub Plaza transcends its basic retail function. It absolutely stops being just a place to buy things and becomes this captivating, immersive nighttime destination. It becomes a place you genuinely just want to hang out in. So, to sum up our journey today, we've completely deconstructed the sheer kinetic energy of this hub. It serves as a striking visual testament to how light and structure literally engineer modern nighttime vitality. It's not an accident, it is a highly calculated, brilliantly executed urban formula. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought. As our digital and physical worlds blur together and screens become our primary light source, will all our city centers eventually evolve into glowing, multi-level screens? Think about your own local commercial spaces for a second. Are they adopting the same formula? Thanks for joining this explainer, and hey, keep your eyes open next time you walk through your city at night.